Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Silverdi and I decided to experience Mafia 3 for the first time. A game that tries to bring you into the dangerous world of organized crime in 1960 New Bordeaux. But does it live up to the Mafia legacy or does it fall flat? Let's dive in. First, let's talk about the technical aspects. I played Mafia 3 on Windows 11 with an ultra-wide screen setup, and right off the bat, I ran into some strange performance problems. Adjusting my system value caused the game to lose frames, something I've noticed with Mafia 1 and 2 as well. It's annoying, but it's not unbearable. Ultra-wide support is mostly there, but some cutscenes are clearly not optimized for it. It's weird because some do work while others don't, even though they look so similar. There's also a shader or camera effect that doesn't fully stretch, but it's barely visible. Then there are the bugs. Some quests don't work properly, like quest counters failing to update or objectives not triggering when they should. There was even a quest that kept appearing on the map, but I couldn't access it. Worse, I had to restart the game multiple times because characters wouldn't initiate conversations. Graphically, Mafia 3 has its ups and downs. In general, the graphical quality is really good, but there are frequent level of detail switches that take you out of the experience. It's far from perfect. Now, normally I could look past technical issues if the game itself were strong enough to make up for them. But is it? The short answer: no. While Mafia 3 carries the Mafia name, it feels very disconnected from its predecessors. Aside from a few recurring characters and themes, it's a completely different experience. The open-ended structure means the narrative lacks meaningful progression, and the main character, Lincoln Clay, doesn't develop much throughout the game. Lincoln feels more like a Terminator than a human being, closer to a character like Jack Reacher than a traditional Mafia protagonist. Instead of portraying a conflicted man navigating the complexities of organized crime, we're left with a ruthless killing machine, a one-man army who takes down the entire mobs with little to no resistance. If Jack Reacher and T-800 had a love child, it'll be Lincoln. Pacing problems are even more obvious when comparing the DLCs to the main campaign. The DLC missions are much more tightly structured with a controlled pace designed to be played in one sitting. In contrast, the open world nature of the main game causes the pacing to swing wildly depending on how you play. And speaking of pacing, the interview segments in the game spoil any suspense or surprise the story might have. It's hard to stay invested when you already know how it's all going to end. On the brighter side, the game's mechanics aren't too bad. There's a decent variety of weapons, cars, trucks and even boats. I'm not a huge fan of the open world formula with its endless map markers to collect, but if that's your thing, Mafia 3 has plenty of it. Another issue is that Lincoln Clay feels more like an indestructible action hero rather than a nuanced protagonist. The gameplay can be fun, but after a while it starts to feel a little bit monotonous. One area where Mafia 3 really shines is its music. Well, it's hard to fuck it up if you just shove the best 60s music into the game. And I cannot criticize the music itself. I'm no music critic like Anthony Fantano,
the internet's busiest music nerd.
The soundtrack's solid. As for the other sound effects, they're fine. Though there were moments when driving felt less like I was in a car and more like I was on a lawnmower. In the end, if I wasn't making a video on this game, I probably would stop playing after around 5 hours. Maybe a bit longer to finish the DLCs. Overall, Mafia 3 is a passable experience, but it's nothing particularly memorable. So, that's my review. Mafia 3 has its moments, but between the technical issues, pacing problems, and a story that just doesn't hit as hard as Lincoln, it falls short of what the Mafia series has delivered in the past. If you've played it, let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a good one.